Did you feel stressed lately? This video might be for you then. Hello wonderful people and welcome. This video is going to be a rather relaxing one with a few suggestions on how to be less stressed when it comes to art and maybe life. And while I talk to you, you will see me paint a raven. It's another idea I had to paint with a Halloween set of handmade paints in mind. I will link to the set down below in case you are interested. The Halloween collab was a wonderful time and helped me to be more creative lately, and honestly, with the world news, it's what I needed. Big thanks again to Lee Angold and Dan and everyone else who joined in and participated. It's wonderful to have a wholesome and calm community. The news last week were troublesome for many reasons, and today we're not going to talk about it. I think everyone feels the anxiety now and the insecurity about their future. On the internet, I see people knitting to reduce stress, baking, loads of really delicious looking bread and cakes, and painting. Of course people paint, but not all painting is relaxing. So let's see that we can set you up to make it as enjoyable as possible. First, you need to reflect a little what kind of artist you are. We all use different techniques and approaches. If you don't know, you can try out what feels best to you. For me, it's super relaxing to paint without a sketch. It might be just forms and doodling in watercolors, but also something like the little painting you see me do today. I remember a rather boring workplace I once had when I was 20. It was in an office and there were longish downtimes or calls I had to take. During those, I used to doodle a lot on one of those big desk calendars. Little by little, the sheet was filled with rather elaborate doodles that all happened mindlessly. From random shapes, I formed whatever I saw in them, until in the end, the sheet was almost full. After a few weeks, filling all the same piece of paper, I had to switch the desk without being informed about it. It's when my coworkers noticed how big this doodle got over the time I worked there. There was no time to hide or remove the sheet, and to my surprise, it was received well. My coworker sitting at the desk now was excited about the doodles and wanted to keep them as she liked them so much. It was the first time I noticed that my mindless creativity will bring joy to others too, and still I'm not sharing it off, but today I do. Not every doodle has to become elaborate as mine did. It can literally be just shapes or colors you put on paper. It's a start and a great way to relax as well as getting to know your paints and paper better. A few tips for the way I paint now though. First, use a small brush and very watered down paint. Second, use paints that are not staining, so you can lift them to correct errors. Third, don't worry and just go with the flow. If you feel something is off, it's just going to be special. Fourth, don't worry if you don't like it. Don't feel caught up on the paintings. There's always a next one. Feel relaxed about it. You can also be a type that likes to have a sketch to paint. That's okay too. Maybe you have some sketches prepared and can use those for a relaxing evening to play with paints. If you want, you can even choose a coloring page to just play with colors and enjoy the mindless game. There are many downloads you can use and even print them on watercolor paper. There are no limits, but you can really do whatever drives you, whatever tickles your brain. You can choose any medium you like, be it pencil, ink, watercolors, oils. Each medium has something wonderful to it and is individual. It can be the feeling of the brush and how it is applied, the strokes, the flow of the paint. Find what appeals to you most. Experiment. Play around and drink tea. Put on some nice music or a podcast. Something wonderful. The little breaks we manage to create in our lives are super important. And I hope you find your little something that you can go back to over and over again to enjoy, to play with, and to be relaxed. Remember it as your method, as your little island of calm, and go back to it whenever you need it. Do you think a dedicated sketchbook of calm might help you? Do that. In addition to the sketch-free paintings, the tiny landscapes have been very calming for me too. The perfect little breaks in everyday life. If you haven't seen them, I'll link them for you, as I have recorded a few of them and posted them on YouTube already. Everything you need to do to remain okay is valid. At any time, be it now or years from now, I hope you can find your way to enjoy art in the future. You're worthy and wonderful. Now after this talk, I want to share a little about this painting and my motivation. The paints I used was Dan's Halloween palette, which I introduced in the last video. The paints are beautiful and red nicely. For last painting I felt like I didn't use this purplish color nearly enough. But I loved it so much when I was watching this palette that I just had to paint with it again. In my head, I just wanted that contrast between the light green and purple, because they complement each other so well. The change in the hue due to separation and granulation of the pigments was just the best. The flow was there too. Every little touch of the brush on the paper was a tiny explosion of color. It was gorgeous. I enjoyed every paint stroke of this. The circling spirals I used for the background to create a cloudy texture, of the sparkly green to the more intentional strokes of the feathers and of the bird. I put the colors there carefully, enjoying every little bit of it. Sometimes my brush was dry, and other times I let the paints flow. And you know what? I like the results. It's not the most beautiful piece I painted, but one that I enjoyed a lot. And I wanted to take you, yes you, with me on this journey. I hope this video brought you a few moments of calm into your life too. And that you're inspired to pick up your paints and your brush and play. I hope you'll find your moments of calm and sanity in these difficult times. Have a wonderful and creative day, everyone. And I hope to see you soon. Bye.